Coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News Today starts now.
Good morning to you, Mid-Missouri. Today is Monday, June 13th, 2022. I'm Jordan Berger. Thanks for waking up with us.
Yeah, I'm Tim Schmidt. It's a hot and humid forecast for you. Yesterday we had a little taste of that. Today is unfortunately the hottest day out of the week. We're going to be up near record highs of near 100 this afternoon. The heat index will be almost near 110. We have heat alerts to give you. Heat advisories are in effect for all of central Missouri and pretty much the entire midsection of the country, from Louisiana all the way up to Wisconsin. We're all dealing with the heat this week, and it looks like even the St. Louis area could experience heat indices around 110 to 115 this afternoon. Incredible heat that has moved here into the Midwest, and it's actually part of record highs that were experienced out in the desert Southwest last week. Well, the temperatures, they did not cool off at all last night. It's currently 79 degrees in Columbia. It's about 80 in Jefferson City. So the heat index will be quickly realized this afternoon, up near 110 in most areas. Here's a look at that forecast for this morning. Could see an isolated thunder shower this morning, followed by just nothing but sunshine and heat, with a high of 98 this afternoon. Coming up, the rest of this week's forecast.
Thanks, Tim. The Columbia School Board is set to vote on its budget this evening. Part of a budget includes a pay raise for teachers in the district. KOMU 8's Andreas Bussa is live in Columbia to explain what exactly the proposal means for teachers. Andreas, good morning.
Good morning, Jordan. The Columbia School Board originally approved the pay increase for teachers back in April. Base pay for employees across the district, including teachers, will be up just about 3% on average. Let's look at teachers in particular. Teachers specifically are set to get around $1,200 more per year. The pay increases are meant to make pay in the district more competitive. You'll remember the Missouri State Legislature approved raising baseline teacher pay to $38,000 last month. One school board member says the raise is meant to combat a statewide problem.
Missouri was either last or next to last in teacher pay, has been for a while. So Columbia Public Schools was not at the bottom of the barrel for teacher pay, but teacher pay was not increasing at the rate that jobs in other sectors were increasing.
The school board the meeting is set to start at 6:30 p.m. tonight in the building behind me. We'll be streaming it live on KOMU.com. In Columbia, I'm Andreas Bussa, KOMU 8 News.
Thanks, Andreas. You're taking a live look over downtown Columbia. Efforts to improve camera surveillance downtown to combat crime may be taking a step forward this week. That's according to our news partners at the Columbia Missourian. A company that provides real-time surveillance software for police will give a presentation to the Downtown Community Improvement District's Board of Directors tomorrow. The Columbia Police Department plans to purchase software from that company. CPD would use both city-owned cameras and those owned by businesses, but police would need permission from businesses to use their cameras. Let's take a look at what we know so far about the software. Software would allow the department to access cameras in downtown in real time and review footage. The software would also allow police to look at footage faster because it would create a map of all available cameras just a click away. Another function of the software that could improve the efficiency of investigations is its artificial intelligence capabilities. The program, however, would not use residential cameras. The Improvement District budgeted $30,000 at its May 20th meeting toward reimbursing businesses that buy outdoor surveillance cameras. Now, CPD says it's too early in the process to determine a specific timeline for the project, but tomorrow's meeting will be at 3:30 p.m. at the district's office on 10th Street, and it is open to the public. In state news, over the weekend, Governor Mike Parson signed a bill that deals with the seizure of private land for public projects. The measure will require farm owners to be paid at least 150% of market value if their properties are taken through eminent domain. Parson signed the bill at the Missouri State Fairgrounds on Saturday. He shared this picture on Twitter. Also, the governor tweeted, quote, "As a farmer myself, I understand the importance of strong property rights and that no farmer wants to be forced from the family farm by the government or anybody else. The law only applies to new projects, though. It means it will not affect plans for a large wind energy power line called the Grain Belt Express." Now to Washington, D.C. You're taking a live look at the U.S. Capitol, where today the House committee investigating the January 6th Capitol attack is holding its second public hearing. One of the key witnesses to testify will be former President Donald Trump's 2020 campaign manager, Bill Stepien. The committee is forcing him to testify by subpoena, saying Stepien supervised the conversion of the 2020 campaign operation into a disinformation campaign to overturn the election. Former Fox News political editor Chris Steyerwalt is also expected to testify. He came under fire from former President Trump after defending Fox News' decision to call Arizona for then-candidate Biden. That was the first major signal that Trump would lose his re-election bid. Democratic Representative Adam Schiff, a committee member, says he believes the Department of Justice should investigate potential wrongdoing from Trump.
I would like to see the Justice Department investigate any credible allegation of criminal activity on the part of Donald Trump or anyone else. The rule of law needs to apply equally to everyone.
Today's hearing is expected to focus on how the deadly attack on the Capitol was not spontaneous, but the direct result of former president's misinformation campaign. NBC News will have live coverage of the January 6th committee hearing. Lester Holt will anchor and will be joined by a team of correspondents and contributors. The coverage starts at 9 o'clock this morning, and you can watch it right here on KOMU 8. The national average gas price has passed $5 a gallon. According to this map from AAA, the national average is at $5.01. That's a new record high. Here in Missouri, gas prices are also at a record high, with the average sitting at $4.68. The current national average gas price is 16 cents higher than a week ago. This as U.S. refineries are operating at almost max capacity, and analysts say gas prices could go even higher this summer as global factors impact the cost of crude. President Joe Biden blamed the current prices on the war in Ukraine and called them outrageous.
And we're trying very hard to make sure that we've significantly increased the number of barrels of oil that are being pumped out of the reserves we have.
According to the Associated Press, while this is the first time prices break the $5 mark, it's still not a record when inflation is taken into account. Gas peaked at $4.11 in July of 2008. That would be equal to $5.40 a gallon today. A new shipment of baby formula arrived in Los Angeles County yesterday afternoon. It is the fourth mission of the White House's Operation Fly Formula to relieve the ongoing national shortage. The pallets of Bub's infant formula came in from Australia. Suppliers say it's enough to fill more than 2 million bottles, and it will be in stores in Southern California in the next few days. The Biden administration is already preparing plans for the fifth Operation Fly Formula mission. Back here in mid-Missouri, starting today until Friday, MoDOT will close one lane of westbound I-70 near the Rocheport Bridge overnight. The lane will be closed from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Crews there will install concrete barriers in the median. In the coming weeks, crews will begin more work along the median and the roadway, and that will require additional nightly lane closures. Looking ahead, MoDOT crews will perform a culvert replacement on Route U in Audrain County on Wednesday. The replacement will cause closures spanning from County Road 741 to Country Road 733 between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. MoDOT urges drivers to use alternate routes during those times. Signs and message boards will be in place to inform you about the closure. Today, the City of Columbia will start mailing out vouchers for trash and recycling bags. You can expect 2 vouchers for 26-count rolls of black refuse bags and 1 voucher for an 18-count roll of blue recycling bags. Remember, you can also buy additional trash bags and rolls of 5 for $10. As our First Alert weather team has been warning us, it's going to be hot this week, and many people chose to cool off at Stevens Lake Park yesterday. Others decided to stay in the shade and cool off from the sun. One young entrepreneur even took advantage of the hot weather to make some money.
We got a juicer and some other stuff, and I looked up recipes on how to make lemonade, and then I made the best lemonade I've ever had personally.
You know, some lemonade sounds pretty good right about now. Call that kid up, have him bring some over here.
No, just any refreshment or libation sounds all
libations.
All
Ooh, we're getting fancy in here now.
It's only 6 o'clock in the morning, but we're already wanting something with a little bit of ice in it, so we can like that. It's going to be really hot today. It looks like temperatures are currently already into the low 80s in a couple of spots. Currently feels like 92 degrees right now in St. Louis. It feels like 83 in Jefferson City. It didn't cool off at all last night, and unfortunately we're up near record highs today. The heat index today could be around 110. Some heat safety tips and guidelines to give you coming up.
Communities across the country gathered this weekend to remember victims of gun violence and call for action. Coming up, what President Biden says will help promote change. But first, here's a live look over downtown Columbia at 6:09 on this Monday morning. Stick around. KOMU 8 News Today. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. It is 6:12 now. About 80 firefighters in Arizona are battling a new wildfire north of Flagstaff. The so-called pipeline fire began yesterday morning. Authorities in Coconino County say some campers and hikers are evacuating the area. The pipeline fire quickly grew to 1,000 acres. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. Tim, I know preliminary causes, dry weather, heat, a lot of what they're experiencing out there right now.
Yeah, and unfortunately all last week they were up near record highs of 100 to 115 wow. in lots of areas from Arizona to parts of Southern California and even New Mexico.
Thanks, Tim. Thousands of people protested across the country on Saturday, angered by the unrelenting toll from gun violence. This is video of the protest that happened in Washington, D.C. March for Our Lives organized the rally. You may remember that's the gun safety group founded by student survivors of the Parkland, Florida school shooting in 2018, which killed 17 people. This is video of the protest in Parkland, Florida. Attendees heard from gun violence survivors, family members, activists, and lawmakers. The event also featured touching musical performances by various artists. In New York, thousands also rallied together and walked across the Brooklyn Bridge in solidarity with March for Our Lives. Also, there was a memorial showing pictures of the victims in the mass shooting in Buffalo, New York, where a white teenager there killed 10 people, all of whom were black, in a supermarket. And in Austin, Texas, people showed up to the state capitol to protest. You may remember almost 3 weeks ago, 19 children and 2 teachers were killed during a shooting at Robb Elementary in Uvalde. President Joe Biden expressed support for these rallies, and a leader of March for Our Lives says they will continue to demand change.
Yes, keep marching. It's important. Look, this has to become an election issue. The way people listen, senators, congressmen, is when people say, this is going to affect my vote. Too many people are dying needlessly.
We're going to continue marching and demanding action every single month, every single year, until no kid in any community, white, black, brown, undocumented, or an American citizen, until no kid has to live in fear of gun violence.
In total, rallies were scheduled in more than 400 U.S. cities and nearly all 50 states. It's been 6 years since 49 people lost their lives at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando in one of the deadliest mass shootings in U.S. history. Families of victims, survivors, and trauma teams gathered to remember those killed in the shooting at the LGBTQ nightclub. A remembrance ceremony was held at the Pulse Interim Memorial last night.
During these past 6 years, the healing journey for many individuals has been painful, but it has also been filled with love and unity. The same unity displayed by courageous civilians and first responders working together to bring the wounded to the hospital.
Yesterday's ceremony wrapped up a week of events in the community honoring the victims of that shooting. In other national news, today a new gun law goes into effect in Ohio. According to NBC affiliate WKYC, it allows any legal gun owner to carry a concealed firearm without the permit and training that was previously required. It also removes the requirement for gun owners to tell police officers they have a gun in the car during traffic stops. Now, law enforcement leaders have long opposed the provision because they believe it makes interactions with drivers more dangerous. International travelers no longer need to take a COVID-19 test to enter the country. That change went into effect last night as summer travel begins to heat up. According to the White House, the CDC made the decision based on science and data, and the agency plans to reassess the decision in 90 days. Uber released its annual Lost and Found list, and it includes everything from tater tots to, get this, grandma's teeth. The most common things passengers forgot, of course, include phones, wallets, and keys. But the bizarre things left behind do include caviar, a pet tortoise, and a bucket of slime, just to name a few. The most forgetful passengers live in Austin, Texas. Uber releases the list every year to remind customers they can use their app to get their lost and found items back. The cost is $15 to cover the driver's time and effort. Yeah, don't leave behind some of those things.
No, yeah. Plus your driver rating and your user rating go down, by the way, so don't do that. Nope,
it'll be hard to get a ride after that.
All right, well, looking at your sun sense numbers, it's brought to you by KC Dermatology Center Medical Spots. Up near a 10 for today. UV index values are going to be high enough to where sunburn times are within 15 minutes or less. And with the heat outside, just advise, please don't be out in the sun for long periods of time. It just really breaks down your body's ability to stay cool here for this time of the year. They also recommend an SPF of 30 or higher for your sunscreen this time of the year.
We're learning more about the effectiveness of Pfizer's COVID vaccine for younger kids. Coming up, the new details the FDA released. But first, that's a live look over the Columbia Regional Airport at 6:20. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Your time now is 6:23. If you have a flight out of Columbia Regional Airport this morning, or a loved one does, we have an update for you. According to the airport's website, the flight headed to Dallas-Fort Worth, originally scheduled for 5:15 a.m., is now leaving at 8:04. All other flights out of COU are still set to depart on time. A COVID-19 vaccine from Pfizer could be on the way for children under the age of 5. An analysis from the FDA released yesterday said Pfizer's vaccine appears to be safe and effective for younger kids. The news comes ahead of a meeting on Wednesday of FDA vaccine advisors. The FDA is not required to follow the group's recommendations and will make its official decision after the vote. The CDC is then set to convene its own expert panel to debate which children need the vaccinations. In sports news, Daniel Suarez became the first Mexican-born driver to win a NASCAR Cup Series race. Suarez, who drives for a team owned by pop star Pitbull, won the Toyota Save Mart 350 at Sonoma Raceway in Sonoma, California. He held off fellow driver Chris Buescher to win the race.
Makes a lot of sense to Daniel Suarez, good road course driver, and there we're at Sonoma, California. That is a road course on the circuit for the Cup Series, and what do you know, he did pretty well. I'll look at our forecast for today, and the temperatures are going to be at the highest point this week today. Tomorrow, a touch cooler, hopefully a little less humidity tomorrow, a high of 98 today, 97 tomorrow, and then we're down into the lower 90s by Friday. So a little cool off later this week. It'll be about 5 to 10 degrees cooler by the end of the week, but we'll still be in the 90s for temperatures. We also have a chance for some storms today. Right now there's a warm front currently moving through the state that might pop off a couple of spot showers this morning. Otherwise, I think we will be mostly dry and just kind of a little cloudy this morning, followed by nothing but sunshine for the afternoon and heat plus humidity. A high of 98, feeling like 110 today. A high of 97, feeling like 105 tomorrow. And then again, progressively cooler and less humid for the remainder of the week, but we're still at 90 degrees for highs over this upcoming weekend. So please just do what you can to stay out of the heat and the sun today, and just drink extra water. I mean, really find your ways to drink more water than normal here for this time of the year.
I was really excited when I started this morning schedule, thinking like, oh, I'll come to work in the summer and I won't be sweaty and gross when I get here in the afternoon.
No, we're
not
still,
today.
We will be sweating until like October. That's just how Missouri works.
Yeah, very true. All right, let's take a live look now over downtown Columbia at 6:26. We'll be right back.